welcome to the deep dive. You know, this is where we take those intriguing questions, those fascinating sources you send us, and we really plunge right in.
Yeah, we try to pull out those core insights, the things you really need to feel, well, truly informed.
And today we're diving into something that I think resonates really deeply with so many of us right now. It's this intriguing paradox, isn't it, of our current times. It feels like, well, like this period of great revelation is happening all around us.
Absolutely, things coming to light.
But at the same time, so many people are feeling this profound sense of deep confusion.
Yeah, strange mix.
Like the world's getting clearer and, well, muddier all at once.
It absolutely is. And, you know, as Earth's vibration continues to rise, or maybe think of it as the collective consciousness expanding rapidly, the veils between what's been hidden and, well, what's known are definitely thinning.
Right, more information flowing in.
An incredible amount, actually. So this means, just like the source material says, that long-held truths are coming to light. Revelations that, let's be honest, many people have kind of sensed intuitively for a long, long time. Now they're really emerging.
But there's a catch.
Exactly. Here's the critical point. With each new ray of that light shining, the shadows that were hidden inevitably start to stir. It's almost like the more intense the light, the more these shadows dance at the edges, you know?
Yeah.
Making everything visible, both the beautiful and the unsettling, as the source puts it.
Beautiful and unsettling. That sums it up well.
It's a fundamental part, maybe even a necessary part, of this whole grand process of awakening, both for the planet and for us personally.
And that's really our mission for this deep dive, isn't it? You, our listener, shared some incredibly insightful sources with us specifically. Insights from Tia of Arcturus via the YouTube channel GFL Station R. So our goal today is to unpack these ideas, really, to equip you with some practical tools for discernment, because the information landscape is, well, it's abundant, but sometimes pretty overwhelming.
Definitely overwhelming at times.
So we want to explore some very specific red flags and offer some actionable strategies, ways to help you navigate what can feel like a real fog of misinformation and find that genuine clarity.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And it's so important to remember this. You, as an awakening being, you consciously chose to be here now, in this era, specifically to navigate and, yet, assist in this really intricate interplay of light and shadow.
So you're not unprepared.
Far from it.
Yeah.
You are, in fact, equipped with inner wisdom and growing discernment. That's key. This allows you to cut through the noise.
It's not just a nice thought, is it?
No, not at all. It's not some vague spiritual platitude. It's actually a profound truth about your inherent capabilities. So, through what might feel like confusion at first, you genuinely have the innate ability to forge a clear path for yourself, and just by being you, you'll light the way for others too.
So this deep dive is really about reminding you of the tools you already have.
Exactly. They're already within you.
Okay, so let's unpack this paradox then. This idea of simultaneous revelation and confusion, it really strikes a chord. I've heard people describe it as feeling like the world is fragmenting almost. So based on the source, what's the deeper mechanism here? Why doesn't more light just lead to more clarity for everyone?
That's a really powerful and essential question. The source explains this is actually a natural part of the grand awakening process. Think of it like this. Imagine you've been sitting in a huge dark room for a really long time.
Okay.
In that darkness, certain things were easy to hide, right? Hidden corners, maybe suppressed truths, maybe even entities that preferred operating unseen. You've gotten used to the dimness, only seeing certain outlines, accepting a kind of limited reality.
Right, you adapt to the dark.
Exactly. Then suddenly, someone clips on a bright lamp in that dark room. What happens?
Everything becomes visible. Instantly.
Everything. Yeah. Every corner, every object, every speck of dust. But also every beautiful detail you missed before. So yes, you gain immense clarity about the true nature of the room. You see the layout, hidden doors, maybe beautiful tapestries you never knew were there.
But you also see the mess.
You see the cobwebs, the dust bunnies, maybe things that were deliberately hidden. And in this context, the unsettling things that become visible, well, those are the forces, the entities, the individuals who thrived in the shadows.
The ones who benefited from the darkness.
Precisely. They benefited from secrets, from control. For them, this light isn't welcome at all. It exposes their operations, it diminishes their power. So as the light shines on everything, they naturally attempt to cast doubt and chaos.
To try and turn the lights back off, metaphorically.
Or at least make you question the light you see. Their goal isn't just to maintain the status quo, it's to actively try and re-obscure what's being revealed. to make you doubt your own eyes, your own intuition.
Okay, so that's why the confusion seems to intensify even as the clarity grows. It's an active resistance.
It's an active effort, yeah, resisting this inevitable shift.
That makes so much sense. It's not that there's more confusion being created out of thin air. It's that the confusion that was always lurking but hidden is now lit up. And those benefiting from it are trying to amplify it. Like a last resort.
A desperate measure, almost.
And the truly transformative insight here, I think, is that the very disorientation, the discomfort you might be feeling, it's actually a sign of progress, not failure.
Yes, that's a crucial reframe.
It's like your inner alarm clock going off, pushing you to engage your discernment. And discernment is like a muscle, right? It needs resistance to get stronger.
Absolutely.
So for you, the listener, understanding this paradox can be incredibly reassuring, this feeling that things are topsy-turvy. It's actually a normal, expected part of this massive shift. It's not you doing something wrong.
Not at all.
It's confirmation that the process is working and you're right in the thick of it. And crucially, the source emphasizes your inner wisdom as your primary tool.
Your core tool.
And we're not talking about some mystical power only a few have. It's more like a deeper, quieter knowing.
Exactly. It's distinct from your analytical mind or even your immediate emotional reactions. It's that gut feeling, that sense of deep alignment, or that intuitive nudge that often comes before logic even kicks in.
Your internal compass in this newly lit, sometimes chaotic room.
Perfectly put. It's about trusting what you already know deep down.
Yeah.
And recognizing that can dramatically reduce that feeling of overwhelm.
Okay, so that sets the stage. Now, how do we actually navigate this? The source talks about red flags.
Yes. Now, to help you navigate this complex information landscape, Tia of Arcturus highlights a series of these red flags. Think of them not as reasons to get cynical or paranoid. That's not the goal.
Right, more like tools.
Valuable tools for your inner guidance.
Yeah.
Like navigational markers in that newly lit room we were just talking about. They're designed to help you discern what truly resonates as truth and what might be, a detour or maybe even a trap.
Practical insights, not just theories.
Very practical.
Okay, so that dynamic of simultaneous revelation and confusion is really disorienting. And that brings us straight to the first subtle tactic. The source flags up one that's apparently incredibly effective because it plays on our desire for answers. It's called the limited hangout. It sounds almost casual, doesn't it?
It does, but it's far from it. It's actually a highly sophisticated form of deception, and it often goes unnoticed, even by really sincere truth seekers.
How does the source define it?
It defines a limited hangout as a tactic where only partial truths are revealed to gain trust, while deeper, more important secrets remain hidden.
Okay, so partial truth.
Exactly. The source uses a great analogy. Think of someone shining a small flashlight in a vast dark cavern. You catch a glimpse of what's inside, right? You might see a cool rock formation or a hint of a passage, just enough to confirm your suspicion that there's something there.
Right, enough to pique your interest.
But the crucial part is that the beam is deliberately kept away from the deepest chambers. This tactic works so well because it offers genuine pieces of information.
Things you can verify, maybe.
Exactly. Enough to validate your gut feeling that something was amiss, that you were right to suspect something. Yet, and this is key for their agenda, they stop short of the full picture. They withhold the most damaging or the most transformative parts of the truth.
What's really fascinating, and what the source points out, is just how effective this is. Seductive, even, for sincere truth seekers. Why does it hook us so easily, especially those of us actively looking for answers?
Well, think about it. When one piece of a puzzle you've been pondering suddenly proves true, you naturally lean in, right? You feel like you finally pierced the veil. You think, aha, I knew it. They're finally telling me the truth.
That rush of validation.
Exactly. And the orchestrators of the limited hangout, they count on that relief and curiosity to prevent you from digging further. It creates this powerful illusion of transparency.
Like they're being open.
They essentially say, look, we're sharing the secret. We're being honest now. But in reality, they're carefully controlling the narrative of what you're allowed to see. It really preys on that psychological need for resolution and clarity. It gives just enough to satisfy that immediate craving.
And hopefully stop you from asking more questions.
Precisely. It disarms your further inquiry.
Okay, so what does this mean for you listening right now? It means this tactic taps into your very natural human desire for truth and resolution. It feeds you just enough to satisfy that immediate curiosity, relieve the tension, hoping you'll just stop there. It's designed to make you feel like you've found the answer, stopping your investigation exactly where they want it to start.
So the counter strategy, as the source clearly states, is that healthy skepticism and continued questioning are your allies.
Don't just settle for the first satisfying answer. Don't let relief override your intuition.
And this is where tuning into those subtle inner signals becomes absolutely paramount. The source advises us to pay attention to the energy you sense.
The feeling behind the information.
Yes, limited hangouts, even though they offer some truths, often leave a lingering feeling that something is off or missing. That's your intuition, your inner compass, speaking loud and clear, even if it's quiet.
How do you tune into that?
Practice taking just a moment of quiet introspection after you consume information. Close your eyes, take a breath, and just ask your body, ask your heart, how does this feel? Is there a subtle tightness somewhere, a sense of unease, a vague question mark just hanging there?
Trust that feeling.
Absolutely trust that feeling. If a story feels shallow or it leaves you with nagging questions, honor that intuition. Continue your quest, as the source says. Keep shining your own light deeper into the cavern of truth.
Because there's often more beyond the convenient tidbits.
Almost always. Far more to discover beyond those convenient tidbits they've laid out for you.
Okay, moving to red flag number 2. This one sounds particularly insidious. Controlled opposition.
Yes. This one is tricky because it presents itself as being on your side. But its real agenda is often to subtly guide you back toward the very system or mindset you're trying to break free from.
How does that work?
It happens when certain individuals or groups appear to challenge the established order. Maybe they even lead movements for change or spiritual liberation, while quietly being influenced or placed by the very forces they claim to oppose.
Wow. So like a fake resistance?
Kind of. The source gives an analogy like a corporate CEO secretly funding a protest against their own company,
Okay.
but ensuring the protest never actually achieves real systemic change. Maybe just some superficial adjustments to appease people.
So why are they so effective?
They're effective because, as the source notes, they often share a good deal of truth to gain trust and credibility. They'll resonate with your deepest concerns, your desire for justice, your yearning for freedom. They echo sentiments you already hold.
They sound like you.
Exactly. But, and this is the critical part, their underlying purpose is to subtly steer the collective back towards old patterns of control.
How?
The source uses a brilliant analogy here. Think of them as a pressure valve.
A pressure valve. Okay.
When the energy for change builds up among people, when dissatisfaction hits a boiling point, a controlled opposition figure steps in and provides an outlet that seems promising,
Yeah.
yet ultimately loops everyone back into a limited outcome.
So it lets off steam without changing the engine?
Precisely. It dissipates that revolutionary energy without achieving true transformative change. They become the safe channel for dissent, ensuring it flows in a direction that ultimately preserves the core of the status quo.
How might you spot this?
Well, these figures are often very charismatic or persuasive, and
Right.
for a while, they inspire genuine hope. They might seem like the perfect leader.
Yeah.
But a key hallmark is that at critical junctures, they discourage truly radical change or unity.
Like when things get really serious?
Exactly. When people are ready to take a truly transformative leap, maybe towards real sovereignty, decentralization, these voices might suddenly sow doubt or encourage infighting between factions or insist on half measures that keep the status quo intact.
So keeping everyone playing within the same old boundaries, just with maybe different labels.
You got it. And the source stresses, this isn't about breeding paranoia about every leader,
No, of course not.
but it's about encouraging clarity regarding where true freedom actually lies.
Okay, so what does this mean for you, the listener? It's about being discerning, but without becoming suspicious of absolutely everyone.
Right, it's a balance.
The counter strategy is to pay attention to the long-term fruits of any movement or teaching.
Look at the results over time.
Ask yourself, does it lead to genuine freedom, genuine empowerment, genuine unity? Or do things always seem to circle back to the same limits, the same divisions, or maybe dependence on the leader?
Yeah, does it lead to people becoming more self-reliant, less fearful, or does it keep reinforcing a narrative of external threats and the need for that leader to protect them?
Good questions to ask.
True liberation, the source makes really clear, will have you soaring beyond old paradigms, not looping within them.
It's about evolution, transcending limitations, not just circling back to a slightly different version of the same old cage.
Exactly. Real change breaks the loop.
Now, it feels natural to wonder at this point, why? Why are awakened souls, starseeds, and light bearers, people like you listening, why are you specifically targeted with such subtle misinformation? It seems almost counterintuitive. If these folks are so powerful, maybe just leave them alone.
The source explains this very clearly. It is precisely because of your value and influence.
Okay.
Your frequency, your actual energetic vibration is higher. Your mind tends to be more open to new possibilities. And crucially, you are not easily controlled by fear or brute force.
Right. The old methods don't work as well.
Not on someone who's waking up. Those clinging to the old, controlling paradigms, they recognize that one enlightened person can send ripples of awakening through the collective.
How does that work?
When you see through an illusion, when you stand firmly in your truth, it literally creates a pathway that others can follow energetically. The source says, each starseed is like a tuning fork.
A tuning fork. I like that.
When you vibrate with clarity and love, others around you naturally start to resonate with that pure frequency. It amplifies the light across the whole collective. Your very presence, your awakened state, disrupts the old order just by being there, often without you having to actively do anything.
So rather than trying to suppress you with obvious methods, which probably wouldn't work anyway on an empowered soul and might just draw more attention,
Exactly.
those in shadow try to subtly misguide you instead.
Yes. If they can divert your focus with half-truths or seed doubt and fear, they hope to dampen the powerful ripple effect of your light.
It's an attempt to dilute your energy, your focus.
Get you caught in mental loops of confusion. Or maybe misdirect your considerable creative power towards things that don't really matter. Or, worse, serve their agenda.
Which is why discernment is so absolutely essential for starseeds, for awakened souls.
It's critical. Think of it, as the source says, as both your shield and your compass in these times.
Ah, shield and compass.
With sharp discernment, you keep your own energy pure and your direction true. You make sure that the profound impact you do have on the collective is always aligned with liberation and love.
And remember, you chose to be here for this very challenge. You came equipped.
Absolutely. That innate sensitivity you feel, the one that sometimes seems like a burden in this chaotic world.
Yeah.
That's actually your finely tuned inner guidance system. Trust that gift.
Yeah.
Because it will help you navigate this fog of misinformation, like a lighthouse guiding a ship safely to shore.
Okay, that's empowering. Let's move to another critical red flag, especially when navigating teachers, leaders, movements in the spiritual or truth-seeking space. The personality cult dynamic.
This happens when a movement or teaching becomes centered around the glorification of the messenger rather than the message itself.
Instead of empowering you to trust yourself, your direct connection to source, or whatever you call it, universal consciousness, higher power.
Right. Instead of that, a distorted leader will subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, demand loyalty and admiration.
So you might start noticing that the community's energy isn't really about the truth or the principles being taught.
Exactly. But rather around defending or praising that individual, almost as if they're infallible or beyond any questioning.
Right, like questioning them is taboo.
The source contrasts this really well with true messengers of light. They say these true guides remain humble and continuously redirect you to your own inner wisdom.
They want you to find the answers.
They celebrate when you think for yourself, when you grow beyond what they've taught. They understand their role is to facilitate your awakening, not to be the sole focus of your devotion.
But a personality cult leader,
They often foster the idea that you cannot thrive without them. They might even imply that questioning them is wrong, or that only they possess the special keys to truth and salvation.
creating dependency.
Sometimes they even create a drama where they appear to be the heroic figure under attack, needing followers to rally around them and defend them.
Ah, the victim narrative.
All of this is often intentionally designed to tie your power to their persona, making you dependent on their interpretations, their presence, their validation.
So the counter strategy here is vital.
Crucial. Observe how any teacher responds to questions or challenges. A genuine guide welcomes healthy inquiry and remains transparent. They're ready to discuss, clarify, maybe even admit when they don't have all the answers.
They encourage dialogue, critical thought.
Exactly. In stark contrast, a false guru might react with defensiveness or try to silence dissent.
How?
Maybe by shaming questioners, labeling them as negative, or implying they're just not evolved enough or ready for the truth.
Right, turning it back on the questioner.
Remember, the spiritual path is ultimately about realizing your own divinity, not pledging allegiance to someone else's. Any teaching truly aligned with your growth will keep pointing you back to your sovereignty. Always.
So if you ever feel that pressure to conform, worship, or accept without question,
That is a red flag you should definitely not ignore. Your inherent power lies within you, not in external validation or some authority figure.
Moving on to red flag number 4, this one feels particularly insidious because it's apparently so hard to spot. Mixing truth with lies.
Yes, this is a tricky one. The source uses a really vivid analogy, like serving you a delicious drink with a few drops of poison in it.
Ooh, okay.
If everything presented were just outright false, your intuition would likely reject it pretty quickly.
Yeah, you'd probably just dismiss it.
But when genuine insights and facts are blended with subtle distortions, it's much harder to discern what's wholesome and what's harmful. Your mind gets presented with undeniable truths, things that resonate, and that kind of lulls you into acceptance.
Making you less likely to detect the falsehoods woven in.
Precisely. Many sincere seekers have been swayed by teachings that resonated really deeply in parts, but secretly carried these hidden hooks.
Can you give an example?
Sure. A message might start by correctly validating your spiritual nature, maybe confirming your suspicions about some hidden reality, and that feels incredibly empowering, right?
True.
Yeah, it confirms what you felt.
It affirms what you intuitively know. But then, as the source warns, it might slip in a subtle twist. Perhaps it suggests that you are powerless against some grand scheme, or maybe that only a select few will be saved, and you need to follow their specific doctrine to be one of them.
Or introducing fear or dependency again.
Exactly. Subtly shifting your focus from your inherent power to some external savior, or conversely, an overwhelming external threat. You end up feeling conflicted, partly awakened, but also somehow discouraged or dependent.
That feeling of inner discord.
That deep-seated confusion, that feeling is the clue that truth was mixed with poison. It's that feeling of being almost there, but something just feels off. So how do you spot this subtle blend? It sounds really difficult.
The source says, pay attention to how any information leaves you feeling as a whole.
The overall energetic signature.
Yes. The truthful parts of the message will typically uplift, expand, or clarify. You'll feel a sense of knowing, inner alignment, maybe a calm resonance deep inside. The false parts, however, tend to create despair, fear, division, or a sense of superiority or helplessness.
So if you detect that mix...
Know this. You do not have to accept the whole package.
Right, it's not all or nothing.
This isn't about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's about removing the dirt from the bath so the truth is clear.
I like that. Keep the pearls, discard the toxic bits.
Exactly. You can keep the pearls of truth that resonate and simply discard the toxic bits.
Ding.
As your discernment sharpens, you'll become incredibly adept at this. You won't be easily fooled because, with practice, the moment that drop of poison enters the cup, your inner knowing will alert you, and you can choose not to drink it in.
Okay, red flag number 5. This one seems pretty fundamental. Fear-based narratives.
Oh yeah. As the source plainly states, fear is one of the most effective hooks for manipulation. Period. You should be immediately alert, put your antenna up anytime a message tries to scare you into belief or action.
How does this usually show up?
Often it manifests as dire predictions, urgent warnings of doom, or maybe claims that time is running out and only a specific person or group can save you from some impending catastrophe.
The hallmark seems clear, Zem.
Very clear. If a teaching leaves you feeling panicked, helpless, or small, that is a glaring red flag. True higher guidance, even when it has to address challenging realities or potential difficulties, will ultimately remind you of your power and leave you feeling hopeful or determined, not paralyzed. There's a big difference in the feeling.
Why is fear so effective for manipulators?
Because fear-based narratives are designed to hijack your free will by triggering your survival instincts. When you're in fear, your brain shifts into a reactive primal mode. It makes it much harder to hear the calm, wise voice of your intuition.
It bypasses discernment.
It essentially shuts down your higher reasoning. Those who spread these narratives, they understand this intimately. They want to bypass your discernment altogether and gain control through emotional hijacking.
Okay, so what can you do when you feel that fear hook?
The moment you sense a message using fear to push an agenda, the advice is pause and step back.
Just stop, breathe.
Take a deep breath. Return to your center. Remind yourself that no external story can take away your power unless you allow it to. Then ask yourself that key question. Is this information empowering me or just making me afraid?
That cuts right through it.
You'll often realize fear is being used like a cage to trap your mind, limit your options, push you towards their solution. Your strength as an awakening being is that you can transform fear into awareness. Let fear be a brief signal that something needs your attention, like a warning light flashing on your car's dashboard. Acknowledge it, but then consciously shift into your heart.
Back to that inner compass.
Exactly. From that heart-centered space where your intuition resides, you can see whether the warning has any merit or if it's exaggerated to manipulate you. In love and clarity, you can prepare for challenges without panic. You can take calm, aligned action if needed.
So fear becomes just another indicator, not the chain holding you down.
Perfectly said. It's a signal, not a prison.
Let's talk about red flag number 6. Overly complex information. Have you ever encountered this? Trying to understand some theory or teaching that was just so convoluted, so dense.
Oh, absolutely.
Endless names, dates, intricate histories, layers upon layers of secret codes. And it just leaves you feeling more confused than enlightened.
Been there.
The source flags this as a potential deliberate tactic. Misinformation often hides behind an overcomplex web.
By bombarding you with endless names, dates, and layers of secret codes.
What's the purpose of doing that?
It's designed to overwhelm your logical mind.
Okay.
When your rational brain gets swamped with just an unmanageable amount of data, what happens?
You might just give up trying to understand it all.
Exactly. And instead, you might just accept the speaker as the expert who must be right. Because who else could possibly grasp all that complexity?
It's a subtle form of intellectual intimidation.
Yes. And it can mask a real lack of true substance underneath all the jargon and detail. Now, obviously, the universe is complex, profoundly so.
Right. Truth isn't always simple.
But genuine truth, even when multifaceted, tends to bring a sense of clarity or an aha moment when you grasp it. Eventually. It resonates in a way that your heart and mind find coherence, even if it challenges your previous beliefs.
Whereas this manufactured maze...
A manufactured maze of information leaves you feeling exhausted, disempowered, or perpetually not quite getting it, always feeling like you're missing something.
And that keeps you dependent.
It's designed to keep you busy and dependent on this supposed expert, always chasing the next obscure piece of info rather than finding your own inner knowing.
So what do you do when you run into this kind of overwhelming complexity?
The source is very direct here. Your time and energy are precious. Remember that.
You don't have to understand everything.
You have the right to step away from any rabbit hole that is not yielding fruits of wisdom for you. Trust that you have the ability to comprehend whatever is truly necessary for your growth.
And the truth.
The truth, even if it challenges you, is often elegant. You might stretch your mind, but it won't forever evade your grasp if it's meant for you. It has a certain simplicity at its core.
So don't let anyone convince you enlightenment is so complicated
that you must rely on them alone to decode it. Trust your inner wisdom. It can cut through knots of confusion if you just give it space and trust it to guide you to what truly serves your path.
Okay, red flag number 7 feels like it goes right to the heart of things. Doubting your own inner guidance.
This is absolutely core. At the heart of so many manipulative teachings is an attempt to make you doubt your own inner guidance.
How do they do that?
Be wary of any message that suggests you can't trust your intuition or that you somehow need an intermediary to access truth. It might be subtle. Maybe a leader implies that only they, or maybe a select inner circle, have the special insight to interpret events or spiritual truths correctly.
And that your own feelings or insights are likely mistaken.
Or not evolved enough, or maybe flawed because of past traumas, or even being manipulated by lower entities. Anything to undermine your trust in your inner compass.
If you buy into that over time,
you may start second-guessing that quiet inner voice, the one that has probably always guided you pretty well, actually.
And that's exactly what they want.
Precisely. To wedge themselves between you and your direct connection to source, your connection to universal wisdom, your higher self, whatever term you use.
But the reminder from the source is,
no one stands closer to your truth than you do. Remember that. You are inherently equipped with a compass for what is right and true for you.
Teachers and guides can help, though.
Absolutely. They can offer perspectives, tools, insights, but a true guide will always encourage you to verify things with your own heart. Always. In higher vibrations, diversity of perspective is celebrated. No being of light wants to be the sole authority over another soul.
So if you find yourself in a group or following a teaching where questioning is discouraged,
and only the leader's narrative is allowed or considered valid, that's a huge sign of control, not truth.
you have the right to step away.
You have every right to step away from anything that diminishes your trust in yourself.
Reaffirm your sovereignty often.
Yes. with a simple but powerful statement like, I trust my inner guidance. I'm connected to source. Just saying that, feeling that, can break the hold of any influence trying to make you feel small or dependent. You are meant to be the authority of your own life, guided by the divine spark within.
And those truly on your side.
We'll celebrate and strengthen that self-authority, never try to replace it.
Okay, red flag number 8 highlights as a very old tactic, sadly prevalent in many communities, even awakening ones: division within communities.
Unity is such a powerful force among awakening souls, right?
Absolutely.
And because of that, those who wish to hinder progress often try to break that unity using division. That's an ancient strategy. You've heard divide and conquer.
Right.
If you can get a community that could stand strong together to instead fight amongst themselves or mistrust each other, well, then you hardly need to do anything else to stop their momentum.
So be wary of messages or leaders encouraging a strong us versus them mentality.
Within the spiritual or truth-seeking community itself. Now, we're not talking about recognizing different energetic frequencies or being discerning about genuinely harmful influences that's necessary.
No, this is about unnecessary fracturing.
Exactly. Instances where, for example, one group of light workers is pitted against another over relatively minor differences in beliefs or methods.
Yeah.
Or maybe where fear is spread that this or that subset of truth seekers is actually the enemy or has been compromised.
How does this get seeded?
The source explains that controlled opposition efforts often seed subtle accusations and mistrust. Maybe a narrative pops up that a certain popular spiritual figure is secretly corrupt, but without clear evidence. Or that a whole portion of the awakened collective has somehow fallen from grace.
And suddenly people who are aligned start taking sides.
Pointing fingers, creating drama. And this saps energy and creates confusion, effectively slowing down the collective's upward momentum. It diverts attention and resources from true collaborative progress.
So a good red flag test here is:
ask yourself, does a message encourage compassion and understanding toward others, even if they disagree? Or does it paint those who don't fully agree as enemies or somehow lesser?
True light teachings foster unity.
Even when acknowledging different paths or perspectives, they'll always call for love, empathy, and unity in resolving differences. They foster oneness, cooperation towards common goals.
Whereas false or ego-driven messages,
they often try to create an in-group and an out-group, fostering an air of exclusivity, maybe even superiority. And this not only isolates you from potential allies, but also breeds an echo chamber where your own blind spots might go unchallenged, leading to stagnation.
Humanity's ascension is a team effort.
On a soul level, absolutely. Each awakened soul holds a piece of the bigger puzzle. So celebrate the diversity of insights among you. Notice when someone tries to turn that beautiful diversity into division.
And if you encounter that divisive rhetoric,
remember, it only serves the old paradigms of control. You can silently affirm unity by choosing not to participate in condemning or shunning others over disagreements.
Maintain boundaries, but hold understanding.
Maintain healthy boundaries, yes. Protect your energy, absolutely. But also try to hold a space of understanding that everyone is learning, growing on their own unique path. In doing that, you strengthen the fabric of light that connects all who are striving for a better world, creating a more resilient, harmonious collective field.
Okay, our 9th red flag is particularly subtle, because it appeals directly to something many of us desire: flattery and exclusivity.
Yes. This can be a very subtle trap on the spiritual path because, let's be honest,
it feels good to feel special.
We all enjoy feeling special.
Right.
Some deceptive narratives play directly on that ego desire. You might encounter sources telling you, you are one of the chosen few who really gets it. Or, only our group of awakened souls has the real truth.
Implying a unique destiny or status.
Exactly. And initially, that can feel incredibly validating, especially if you felt misunderstood or marginalized by the mainstream for years. Being told you're part of some elite insider circle, privy to hidden knowledge, that's a powerful ego boost.
But the source warns.
Be cautious.
Yeah.
This is a double-edged sword. While it's absolutely true that you are unique and your perspective is valuable, so is every other soul's. The danger of that special few narrative is that it can subtly close your mind.
How so?
You might start dismissing voices outside your chosen circle, thinking, oh, they just don't get it, or they're unawakened. An echo chamber forms, and spiritual pride can creep in, leading to an unconscious sense of superiority over others.
And the keepers of this exclusive knowledge,
they often dangle more secrets and insider information to keep you hooked, like a never-ending soap opera of secret intel you must stay tuned in for.
creating dependency again.
It creates a dependency on those constant updates and the external validation of being in the know, rather than fostering genuine inner knowing and self-reliance.
So the counter strategy involves self-reflection.
Yes. Ask yourself honestly, is this path making me more loving, wise, and open? Or is it just making me feel superior and maybe a little addicted to the next revelation?
Because true divine wisdom
Is ultimately inclusive. It uplifts everyone. It doesn't require a VIP club or an exclusive membership card. Real teachers might share advanced knowledge with those ready for it, sure, but they do it with humility and with the intention that all will eventually access this wisdom within themselves.
There are no favorites in the eyes of Source.
Exactly. So if you notice flattery feeding your ego, just take a step back and ground yourself in humility. Remind yourself, I seek truth not to set myself above others, but to help and uplift everyone. In that mindset, you free yourself from one of the ego's favorite little traps, and you make room for genuine unity and continuous, inclusive learning.
Okay, finally, we come to a red flag that isn't just mental, but deeply energetic. It's about the overall feeling you get after engaging with information.
Yes, the source really emphasizes this. Not all effects of information are mental, many are energetic. This is crucial and often overlooked. Start paying close attention to how you feel after you engage with any source of information or community.
After reading, watching, listening, interacting.
Ask yourself, do you feel energized, clear, and empowered? Or do you feel drained, anxious, or strangely dependent on getting more from that specific source?
The subtle energetic cues, they speak volumes, don't they?
Incredibly important. Often they speak to you before your logical mind has even fully processed the content. Sometimes, a deceptive or just low vibrational source can actually hook into your energy field without you realizing it.
How would that feel?
You might get a temporary rush from sensational claims or dramatic revelations, maybe a fleeting excitement that feels like a oh. But afterward, you feel a crash, agitated or empty until you get another fix of that content.
Like junk food for the soul.
Perfect analogy from the source.
Oh.
This is similar to junk food. It tastes good in the moment, but leaves you unsatisfied and unhealthy in the long run. By contrast, true wisdom and high vibrational content will usually leave you feeling nourished, inspired, or at peace. It empowers you to go about your life feeling more whole, more clear, without needing to cling to the source for your next spiritual hit.
So what does this mean for you, the listener? It means a deceptive source can literally drain you energetically without your conscious awareness, making you feel perpetually fatigued or just out of sorts.
Exactly. So if you notice that a certain website or channel, or even interacting with a particular friend, consistently leaves you feeling unsettled or depleted, honor that awareness. Don't dismiss it.
What might it mean?
It may mean that what they're sharing is either fear-laden, manipulative, or maybe even unintentionally siphoning your energy because of their own state.
You have the freedom to step back.
You have the absolute freedom and sovereignty to take a break or step away entirely. Spend time grounding yourself. Take a walk in nature, meditate, do something creative, anything that restores your inner calm and vitality.
See if the urge to constantly follow that source lessens.
Often, after you clear your energy, you'll realize you didn't truly need it as much as you thought. Remember, your energy and attention are precious resources. Protect them.
Curate your information diet.
You have every right to curate your information diet so that it supports your well-being, just like you curate your physical diet. Surround yourself with sources, with people that uplift and recharge you. As you do this, you create an environment that strengthens your own light and makes it very hard for any draining influences to even take hold.
Okay, we've covered a lot of red flags. Now let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk about actively cultivating your inner compass, which the source calls discernment.
Yes, and there's a higher principle guiding all of this. Authentic light always points you back to the source within.
That feels profound. What does it mean practically?
It means any true teacher, any higher guide, no matter how wise or advanced they seem, ultimately wants you to recognize that you carry divine wisdom inside. They want you to become self-reliant. They will consistently encourage you to trust yourself, listen to your heart, and cultivate your direct connection to Source, that infinite wellspring of wisdom residing right within you.
So real guidance empowers your inner compass. It doesn't ask you to hand it over.
Precisely. It strengthens your sovereignty.
Think back. Have you had moments when you heard something, maybe read something, and it just deeply resonated?
Like a warmth in your heart or an inner yes. Right, a profound sense of recognition that goes way beyond just intellectual agreement.
Yeah, that feeling.
That feeling, that inner recognition is the signature of truth aligning with the source spark in you. Is your soul recognizing its own reflection?
So a high vibration within you is kind of your best protection.
In a way, yes. When you align with the infinite wisdom of your soul, even complex or surprising information often feels harmonious at a core level. It feels familiar because on some soul level you already knew it. This inner resonance is your most reliable compass on the journey of discernment.
But it takes practice to trust it.
Oh, definitely. It takes practice to trust this inner knowing, especially since society often trains us to look outside ourselves for answers, to defer to external authorities.
Right.
But the more you consciously invite your higher self, your intuition, into your decision-making, the clearer that inner voice becomes, like tuning a radio to just the right frequency.
So before rushing to absorb the next piece of external information, news, social media, a teaching,
Pause and check in with your soul.
how, practically?
It can be super simple. Just take a deep breath, maybe place a hand on your heart, and set an intention. You could just silently intend, may my discernment be guided by the highest light within me.
Setting your compass.
Exactly, directing your inner knowing. Then, as you read or listen, just notice what truly resonates. Even if an idea is complex, when it aligns with source, it tends to feel coherent and empowering. It brings a sense of expansion, peace.
And deception or misaligned info?
Often brings a subtle discord or tightness. You might not catch it right away, but something will feel slightly off, a little contraction, a slight unease.
Trust those feelings.
Trust them. They're your soul's way of nudging you. Your body's innate wisdom signaling a deviation from truth. Over time, you realize you're never truly lost in the sea of information because your inner North Star always points towards your highest good.
Let's refine this concept of discernment even more, anchoring it, as the source suggests, in the heart. Because many people worry, don't they? That being discerning means being suspicious, closed off, always on guard.
Yeah, that's a common misconception. But the source says the opposite is true. When your discernment comes from the heart, it operates with peace and openness.
Not walls, but a filter.
A refined, energetic filter. Think of your heart center like that, a wise, discerning filter. When you meet someone, encounter a teaching, read something, instead of immediately judging with your analytical mind.
Bring awareness to the heart first.
Bring your awareness to your heart. Your heart feels the energy behind the words, behind the situation. If something is true and beneficial for you, it often brings that feeling of warmth, expansion, or calm clarity. Like your heart is gently opening, affirming yes.
And if it's deceptive or just not right for you?
You might feel a subtle tightness, discomfort, or agitation in your chest or gut. And importantly, this isn't usually a big emotional reaction like excitement or fear. It's often deeper, quieter, a quiet whisper of intuition, a soul-level knowing.
You've probably experienced this, right? Meeting someone polite and convincing, but your heart just senses something's off.
And later you find out your feeling was spot on.
Or reading an article that sounds logical, has all the facts, but you just feel this persistent unease you can't quite explain.
That's the heart's discernment operating quietly in the background.
So by relying on this inner sense,
You can remain both open-hearted and well-boundaried. You don't have to walk around suspicious of everyone,
instead you walk in light.
radiating an energetic field that naturally repels or reveals lower vibrations. Your heart's light just naturally shows what resonates with love and what doesn't. This approach makes discernment almost effortless over time.
You stay curious, compassionate, live your life.
And let your heart quietly scan in the background. Any deception will eventually show its vibration, and you'll catch it without needing constant vigilance or intellectual gymnastics.
Trusting that clarity born from love is far more powerful and accurate than any analysis driven by fear.
Exactly. With your heart as your guide, you move gracefully through life, enjoying its wonders while also staying safe and true to your path.
It's still natural to ask, though, why do these deceptive forces, these tactics, even exist at all? Especially if humanity is supposed to be moving towards higher consciousness.
Yeah, it's a big question. From a higher perspective, the source suggests even these dark elements play a role in the evolution of consciousness.
How so? That sounds challenging.
Earth is often described as a school of free will and polarity, a place where light and dark, truth and falsehood exist side by side, offering almost infinite opportunities for growth. And souls grow by learning to navigate both. While it's certainly unfortunate that misinformation causes pain and confusion from this broader view, it also provides the contrast that sharpens discernment and strengthens sovereignty.
Like the muscle meeting resistance.
Exactly that analogy again. Each time you lift that weight, you get stronger. Similarly, each time you encounter an illusion and see through it, your clarity and inner strength increase. Humanity as a whole is going through this strengthening process right now. Collectively, you're learning not to give your power away blindly, maybe as was done in past eras of less awareness.
So many of us, especially old souls, star seeds, we kind of knew this would be part of the deal.
The source suggests yes. You knew before incarnating that you'd likely face this fog of half-truths and manipulations. You understood that by overcoming these challenges, by honing your discernment, you would help ensure humanity doesn't fall so easily into deception again in the future.
Like a final exam in discernment for the collective.
That's a phrase the source uses. And as more people pass this test, by waking up to their own truth, the need for such harsh lessons diminishes. Eventually, these deceptive tactics will lose all power simply because a critical mass of humans just can no longer be fooled by them.
So in a strange way, the dark is inadvertently assisting the light.
That's the perspective. Every scheme, every lie that comes to the surface becomes an opportunity for awakening more people. It prompts them to question, to seek deeper truth, to finally activate their own inner compass.
Now, this doesn't justify any harm done.
Not at all. But it puts you in a position of empowerment. You can choose to see these challenges as catalysts for evolution, for strengthening.
Ultimately, nothing can stop the dawn of greater awareness on Earth.
That's the core message. By facing these obstacles now, by mastering your discernment, you are literally paving the way for a future where truth reigns more openly and deception finds less and less ground to take root.
Through our perseverance, humanity graduates this lesson.
And moves into a reality founded more firmly on clarity and integrity. That's the potential you're helping create.
Now let's touch on something intriguing the source mentions. Many of us are apparently honing your discernment even while you sleep. In the astral plane, in dreams.
Yes. This is a fascinating aspect of our multidimensional journey. Your soul often sets up practice scenarios to help you sharpen your intuition in response to deception while you're dreaming.
Like dream school.
Kind of.
Yeah.
You might have had dreams where someone or something wasn't what it seemed. Maybe a figure presented as a helpful guide revealed itself as a trickster.
Or a situation where you suddenly just knew you needed to question what was being presented, even if it looked appealing.
Those aren't just random dreams, according to this perspective. They could be deliberate lessons orchestrated by your higher selves and guides.
It's like attending a spiritual workshop at night.
Exactly, where you can safely simulate real-world challenges involving illusion and complex energies.
So when you encounter similar energies in waking life,
you recognize them faster, more instinctively, because you've practiced.
Some people wake from dreams like that with a strong feeling, a lesson learned, even if the details fade.
You might not remember the dream clearly, but then the next time you meet someone who isn't being honest, or you encounter a subtle manipulation, you get that sudden knowing or deja vu that warns you, an unmistakable sense of, uh-oh, pay attention here.
That's your dream training bearing fruit.
That's the idea. So if you have vivid dreams of, say, battling deceptive figures or guiding others through confusing landscapes, take heart. You're not just imagining their significance. You really could be working on these issues on multiple levels of your being.
And you're not alone in those classes.
Likely interacting with guides, soul family, practicing teamwork and clarity in preparation for your waking life mission.
So the next time you get that gut feeling in waking life,
consider that your nightly training might be paying off, making you instinctively more discerning. You're integrating wisdom from multiple dimensions, becoming more adept at seeing through illusions wherever they pop up.
Okay, so you've spotted a deception, a harmful narrative, maybe using these red flags or your intuition. What do you do?
The empowering answer, according to the source, is this. You don't need to attack it or obsess over it, which can be hard sometimes.
Right, the urge is to fight it, expose it.
But instead, the advice is, you simply withdraw your energy and focus from it, and without fuel, it fades.
Withdraw your energy, how does that work?
Remember, your attention is a form of energy. It's like a powerful currency in the spiritual realm. Dark or manipulative forces, these narratives, they rely on capturing that energy through fear, anger, or even heated debate to sustain themselves.
They feed on the reaction.
They thrive on the emotional reaction, the engagement, even if it's negative engagement. If you don't give them that fuel, if you refuse to feed them your precious life force, they lose momentum, like a fire dying when you cut off its oxygen supply.
So this is a non-confrontational way to dissolve negativity.
Non-confrontational, yet potentially very effective. It might feel counterintuitive at first, especially if you're passionate about truth and have that strong urge to expose every single lie you see.
Yeah, it feels passive somehow.
But consider this. By turning your attention towards building and living in the truth, towards creating the world you do want, you are actually doing far more to nullify deception than by fighting it directly on its own low vibrational level.
It doesn't mean ignoring problems, though.
Not at all. You can calmly acknowledge, okay, I see what this is.
Yeah.
And then consciously pivot your focus to something higher.
Like what?
Focus on a constructive solution. Shift your thoughts deliberately to love, to the world you want to create. Or simply do something that uplifts you personally and raises your own vibration. Your energy is just better spent on creation than reaction.
You can also ask for help clearing negativity.
Absolutely. Call on your guides, angels, or source energy to help clear away any negativity or hooks that might have touched you. Set clear energetic boundaries.
Affirm your sovereignty.
Affirm that you are sovereign and anchored in truth. For example, I do not consent to any lies. I stand in my light and sovereignty. Doing this regularly, feeling it, creates a kind of energetic Teflon coating around your being.
So fewer negative things stick.
Fewer negative situations will stick to you or maybe even appear in your reality as much because you've tuned your personal frequency to a higher station where those lower broadcasts just don't play as often.
That's mastery in practice.
Not by force or resistance, but by wise redirection and curation of your own energy. You maintain your peace, your high vibration, while also contributing to the dissolution of the dark through lack of attention, starving it of energy.
So when discernment becomes really ingrained, part of your very being, you become like a walking truth detector.
In a way, yes. When it's integrated into your energetic field, you walk through life as this clear, shining light. And in that state, you don't have to actively look out for deception at every single turn. Your energy field itself does the work. When you consistently maintain a frequency of clarity and love, lower vibrations have difficulty sticking to you. It's like they can't find purchase. Deception might approach, sure, but it bounces off or quickly reveals itself in your presence.
Like you carry an aura of truth.
That automatically filters your experiences. It makes what is false immediately apparent, often without you even consciously trying.
Does this make you seem cold or unapproachable?
Quite the opposite, actually. Those who embody discernment in this gentle, heart-centered way often exude calm and kindness. People around you might not be able to articulate why they feel safe or clearer in your presence, but they just do.
You've probably met someone like that, someone who just radiates authenticity.
By doing your inner work, you are becoming one of those people. Someone who sees with the heart, always. You don't need to call out every lie or judge everyone who's misled. Your steady presence is statement enough.
And if action is needed,
you handle it from a centered place, without anger, without panic, operating from love and clarity. You essentially become a beacon.
And one beacon lights others.
Just by example. This is often how the greatest teachings are transmitted silently, through demonstration.
As more of us reach this stage,
a powerful grid of clarity forms on Earth. Think of it like countless lanterns being lit across a dark field. Eventually, there's no room for darkness to hide.
And in your personal life,
you'll likely notice more ease and deeper connections as toxic elements or draining situations just naturally fall away, often without needing big confrontations.
That's a reward of embodying discernment.
You remain protected, and you also effortlessly assist the awakening of others simply by being your authentic, clear self. Deception just cannot root itself deeply in a collective that's illuminated from within by souls living their truth.
That's the trajectory we're helping create.
That's the trajectory.
Okay, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, the core message seems incredibly reassuring. Be reassured that you are on a sovereign path, and nothing can derail humanity's awakening now.
That's a powerful statement from the source.
Yes, there might be attempts, maybe ongoing attempts by various forces to confuse or frighten, but these can only succeed if people relinquish their power.
It requires consent, essentially, giving your power away.
So by staying grounded in your own inner wisdom, by being mindful of these red flags we've discussed, you ensure that you won't give your power away. You remain aligned with that trajectory of growth, of liberation, that's unfolding powerfully on Earth right now.
And please know, In this journey, you are far from alone. That's so important to feel. You have a vast community of fellow light bearers all across the world working alongside you in spirit, even if you don't know them personally, each one contributing their unique light.
And help from higher realms, too.
An abundance of help from the higher realms. Your personal guides, angelic beings, star family like us, as Tia puts it. We are always gently guiding, supporting you, often even when you're completely unaware of it.
So when things feel challenging,
we often arrange synchronicities or intuitive nudges to help keep you on track. When you feel weary, just ask for assistance. Sincerely ask. And then be open to the subtle signs and guidance that will inevitably come your way.
Looking ahead, the source suggests the times ahead hold even more revelations.
More light coming in.
Long-hidden truths will continue to come to light in the collective arena. Things that challenge old paradigms, establish narratives.
For some, this will be very challenging to accept or integrate.
But you, who have been cultivating your discernment, will be prepared. You'll be more able to stand in a calm center as these revelations emerge, relatively unwavering in your inner knowing.
Others might look to you then as an example of stability, of clarity amid the chaos, finding reassurance in your steady presence.
Trusting yourself, trusting the divine plan, helps navigate whatever comes with grace.
And this is part of why you are on Earth right now, to be a guide, teacher, a light holder through these incredible ascension times. You signed up for this.
Okay, one final provocative thought for our listeners to maybe ponder on their own.
Absolutely. Consider this. The awakening cannot be stopped. The only question is how gracefully it unfolds. And quote, your everyday choices to remain in love and truth are already anchoring a more peaceful and enlightened timeline for humanity. Just let that sink in. Your quiet daily choices matter immensely to the collective unfolding. Trust that. Trust yourselves. The path ahead is bright.